Tonight, our region in his sights, Mr X looks to put his mark on Jeff Brock's seat. And a big long weekend of local footy, 2 leagues set to clash in Whyalla.
This is Southern Cross News with Tim Hatfield.
Good evening, but first tonight, Port Augusta's Eastside Jetty is still an eyesore as it heads into its 3rd year of being closed to the public. It's right next to the National Highway and the upgraded foreshore, and now Council says it's in talks to get funding for its repair.
Big barriers still surround the Eastside Jetty as it approaches its 3rd year of being closed to the public. While the jetty is owned by the Department of Transport and Infrastructure, the council has it on a lease and is responsible for its repair.
Council has gone back to the Department of Transport and said, well, we actually don't want to lease your jetty anymore, and that's created some argy-bargy between whose responsibility it is.
The council opened the issue for feedback online, with many saying the Eastside Jetty is a Port Augusta icon. With the repair or replacement set to cost over $1 million, the council has already received half of the funds.
Have committed over $500,000 to the reinstatement and replacement of one of the 2 jetties. So it's council's choice whether it be Westside or the T jetty as to which one.
Yet before any action is taken, Mayor Sam says council wants to wait for more funding.
More importantly, we've got a portion of funds that have been allocated. We're working quite close to getting another portion of those funds allocated, which is important because we don't want to put increased pressure on rates in order to reinstate one of those jetties.
Nobody from the department was available to comment. Amelia Simpson, Southern Cross News.
Jeff Brock will face the Nick Xenophon juggernaut at the next election, with the senator confirming he'll run a candidate in the state seat of Frome. Senator Xenophon says Minister Brock is being targeted after he voted to keep the ICAC inquiry into abuse at an Adelaide nursing home behind closed doors.
Since being elected, Jeff Brock has promoted himself as a strong independent for the electorate of Frome, but that's been questioned by Nick Xenophon after Mr Brock voted against making the ICAC inquiry into abuse at Oakden Nursing Home public.
It is beyond me as to why Jeff Brock, who's a decent bloke, voted against the ICAC Commissioner's plea to have open hearings.
The Senator's new state party, SA Best, will now target Mr Brock, confirming it'll run a candidate in Frome at the 2018 state election. It'll be the 2nd seat in our region targeted, with SA Best already seeking a candidate for Giles. Mr Xenophon has questioned whether Mr Brock's ministerial position has harmed his independence.
Once you become a minister, you go inside the tent, and your ability to criticise the government of the day of whatever political persuasion is compromised.
Mr Brock, however, isn't fazed by the talk, saying it's a democratic process.
Still out there serving the people of my electorate, the electorate of Frome, and will continue to do that. It's a democratic system for people to put their hands up.
Mr Brock says the Oakden investigation should be private, so witnesses can give frank evidence without fear. And he's dismissed criticism of his independence, saying he's voted against the government on numerous occasions.
And I must admit, on a couple of occasions I've done that, and I've worn the brunt because that's what my people...
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Police are calling for information from the public after a stash of firearms was stolen from a home just outside of Broken Hill. Sometime between 2 p.m. on Tuesday and 11 yesterday morning, there was a break-in at a home off the Silver City Highway around 35 kilometres south of the city. 6 rifles and a 12-gauge shotgun was stolen, along with a quad bike and 2 motorcycles. Police are urging anybody with information on the thefts to come forward and contact Crime Stoppers. Eyre Peninsula residents are being urged to have their say on the state's natural resource management plan through an online survey. The study is seeking answers from local ratepayers on whether they're happy to keep the current funding structure.
It's a policy that impacts on the state's environment, and it's critical to farmers and landowners.
Well, natural resource management, of course, is a vital part of modern living.
South Australia's Natural Resource Management Plan has come under fire in recent times since its board transitioned from independent to government. But the member for Flinders says it's time for answers and for those paying the levy to have their say.
We're circulating a survey and asking people and levy payers about their opinions on the natural resource management structures that are in place at the moment here in South Australia.
The NRM was introduced to preserve our natural resources, including soil, water, plants and animals, and to provide a structure to the producers, industries and businesses who feed from it. maintaining the Eyre Peninsula's resources essential for the region's future.
We're in an area where some of our coastline particularly is still pristine and our farming systems are working towards being sustainable. So natural resource management feeds into all of that.
Primary farmers have been slogged nearly double the NRM levy recently, while properties used for commercial and industrial purpose will pay time and a half. The substantial increase, part of a new strategic plan, but one that's receiving criticism.
People need to see that they're getting value for the levy they pay and that it's effective use of people's funds.
For more information about the survey, visit our Facebook page. Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
A number of roads in the mid-north have been identified in the RAA's list of most risky in the state. The Horrocks Highway between Roseworthy and Clare came second, while the Copper Coast Highway between Port Wakefield and Kadina was equal sixth. The RAA says many of the roads which link into key tourist areas have issues with uneven surfaces and potholes, narrow lanes and a lack of overtaking lanes. The motoring group is now calling for attention to have them fixed up. Well, stay with us. Still to come in tonight's local news, a nice scratchy surprise for a Port Pirie shopper, but just who are they? The details ahead. Welcome back. Well, a lucky shopper has scratched the top prize of $25,000 on an instant scratchy ticket bought locally. The ticket was purchased from the Ellen Centre News Agency in Port Pirie, and this isn't the first time the shop has seen a big winner.
Selling 3 big winning tickets before, the Ellen Centre News Agency was over the moon to add another winner to their list, worth a cool $25,000.
I was overwhelmed. Yeah, I was very, very happy.
The ticket was bought in March using the lucky winner's loose pocket change.
$2 cupcake scratching, and it was one of our favourites actually. I love cupcakes.
With the word spreading quickly, locals are already planning what they would spend the money on if they were to win $25,000 off of just $2.
Pay a few bills and go on a nice little holiday.
The excitement was felt by the whole community today following last night's announcement.
Very happy, yes. Ecstatic.
Oh, I'd be wrapped. 25,000, mate.
The $2 cupcake is an extremely popular instant scratch it ticket sold here at the Ellen Centre News Agency. And it is not yet known how the winner will spend the money, as they have chosen to remain anonymous.
It's good to see a winner in Port Pirie.
And now the winning ticket is bringing in more business for the news agency, with locals trying their luck. Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
The annual Mulka Aboriginal Art Prize was officially opened in Port Augusta this week, displaying some of the region's finest Aboriginal art. The exhibition is on display at the Yartapertly Cultural Centre, and the winners are set to be decided during NAIDOC week.
The word Mulka means mark or painting in some of the Aboriginal languages around Port Augusta, and this year 48 artists decided to make their mark at the Yartapertly Gallery.
So I think last year we had about 47, so it's a bit of an increase, which is fantastic. We do only have 2 gallery spaces as well to fill, so I'm not sure what happens when we grow up beyond that, actually.
The annual Mulka Aboriginal Art Prize has entrance from Ceduna to Port Lincoln, with the gallery officially opening last night.
It took me about 2 days to paint it, to relax and think about it, you know. Even longer to study it more, and to put the gum tree in the back and the gum tree there, trees in the gap, see the gap coming in the trees and that, and to think about the bushes and the spring there that's running.
Most of the artwork is for sale, with some sold during the event, but one young artist has other priorities. Is your painting for sale?
No.
Why not?
Because I want to show my uncle and my nana back at home.
One artist carves his work into mirrors.
It's slow work, takes a bit more time than probably dot paintings. The dots on this probably took me just under a week just to do all the dots.
Hoping on painting this for my nana as kind of like a present, and even if this doesn't win or anything, I'm still hoping on giving it to her.
Visitors can vote for the People's Choice Award before the winners are decided in NAIDOC week in early July. Amelia Simpson, Southern Cross News.
Young volunteers in Port Pirie now have the chance to receive financial assistance while they're studying. The new awards program, powered by the state government, opened this week and recognising hard young workers.
The Youth Volunteer Scholarship Program rewards young people who donate their time to help others.
A youth volunteer scholarship. They do this every year, and it's on offer across South Australia for those who are participating in some way in a volunteering organisation or participating in the community or helping others in some way.
This scholarship is set up to help young achievers gain a higher education.
It's fantastic that the State Government Office of Volunteers are offering these scholarships to allow these young people the opportunity to attend their university or TAFE or vocational colleges courses.
The scholarship money will be set aside to help pay for costly expenses that come with studying.
Give them an opportunity to help with tuition fees and also with their textbooks.
You can nominate yourself or a friend for the Youth Volunteer Scholarship online.
If young people are looking to either go into a university course, into a TAFE type course or a vocational college course, they can apply for this scholarship to help them out with their chosen field of study.
This scholarship is important to the Port Pirie community as it offers young academics the opportunity to succeed.
I think it is really useful for people in regional South Australia particularly to not only be recognised to show that they really do care about the communities through volunteering or assisting people in the community, but if they can receive some sort of financial benefit to help them with their career goals, fantastic outcome.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Well, stay with us when we return after the break. A big long weekend of local footy. 2 leagues set to clash in Whyalla. A match preview next. Welcome back. Sporting history will be made in Broken Hill this weekend with the city hosting its first combined women's football game. A team of Silver City's finest female players will take on a side from the Sunraysia League on Saturday.
Sharpening their skills for a historic match.
We've been training for 3 weeks now, which is hard obviously because they've got their own training, so they're giving up 3 nights a week.
This weekend we'll see the first women's interleague game held in the Silver City. The talented squad is made up of players from all 4 clubs.
It's going to be interesting. We have to learn how to play with each other instead of against each other, know each other's, how they play.
They'll be taking on a Sunraysia team which is comprised of the best players from the Mildura region. Although she is captain of the side, Rebecca says all the girls are leaders.
We sort of just more so help each other out. It's not really just an individual thing. We sort of get around each other as it is and, help each other.
And the hosts could be entering as favourites. The Broken Hill women's football competition is in its 6th year, while the Sunraysia competition is in its 1st season. Regardless if they win or lose, the coach hopes it becomes an annual event.
Had a chat to the Sunraysia coach last week, and they're just as keen. They've had a lot of people miss out. They were very talented, so it'll make for a good game.
Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
And Whyalla and the Spencer Golf Footy Leagues will once again face off this weekend in the annual interleague clash. The Steel City is looking for revenge after losing a close one last year. They're hopeful a big home crowd will get them over the line.
It's that time of year again where club loyalties in Whyalla are put aside to take on the old enemy that is Spencer Golf. Whyalla held a final training session last night at Bennett Oval, ahead of the weekend's match.
And it's a step up, so you can really test yourself against the better players from the other associations, and it's usually a bit of fun as well.
After years of domination by the Golf, the last 2 years have been even. Whyalla defeated Spencer Golf in 2015, before going down in a narrow defeat in Pirie last year, after leading at the final change. Mr Chase, himself a former Whyalla rep, says he hopes the home ground and crowd will give them the advantage.
Anything can happen on the day. Last year we were up at 3/4 time and probably run out of legs in the last quarter. So I'd like to think this year we can, if we're up at 3/4 time, we can hold on. And
the under-14s and under-18s will also have a head-out on Saturday, with the next generation of Whyalla players on show.
They might as well get the experience and have a shot at it, and you can see whether they can take that next step. So, but it's good, so that the kids will enjoy it, and it should be a good day.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
And with the final word on this weekend's interleague match and also the Mortlock Shield in Port Lincoln, here's our expert tipsters with their predictions for this week's footy tips.
We'll see Whyalla Football League take on the mighty Spencer Golf League to sort out once and for all who is the best football league across the Iron Triangle. Plenty of games going on beforehand. We've got junior combined games, so plenty of talent to go and see there, but the big action starts at 2 o'clock. Spencer Golf have had the wood over the Whyalla for a lot of the past games. In fact, Whyalla's only won one in all of that, but it was 2 years ago on this ground, so Whyalla should be liking their chances. Simon Chase is the coach of Whyalla, plenty of experience, especially in combined zones and combined games, and Cameron Redden will be the coach of the Spencer Golf. But given it's the home ground, they won here 2 years ago, in front of their own crowd, we'll stick with Whyalla by a couple of goals.
Welcome to Port Lincoln Footy Tips, and what a huge weekend of footy we got on in Port Lincoln, with the best teams from around the EP and Roxby Downs coming down to take part in the 2017 Bendigo Bank Mortlock Shield. All games will be played at Centenary Oval, with the first game at 9 a.m, Far West taking on Far North. Far North are making their debut in the Mortlock Shield, and I think they'll come here to impress. I'm tipping them to win in a close one by 2 goals. In the next game, we've got Midwest taking on Lincoln City. Lincoln City are a lot stronger this year, and I'm going to tip them to win this one by 5 goals. At 1:15, we got probably match of the day with the EP Sharks taking on Great Flinders. EP Sharks have been the measuring stick in the past 2 years, and I'm predicting they're going to win this one by 5 goals. In the last game, at 3:15, we got Eastern Air, last year's winners, taking on Lincoln Districts. Harry Miller seems to have Lincoln Districts running really well, and I'm going to tip Lincoln Districts to win this one by 2 goals. Make sure you get down to Centenary Oval on Monday to see all the finals actions. My pick for the Shield will have to be EP Sharks. Sean Burgoyne leading the way is going to be an absolute inspiration, and I'm tipping them to take it out.
And of course, we'll wrap up all the results next week. We'll stay with us after the break, a look at the weekend weather. Well, I hope you've been enjoying this weather, because there's more of it to come right across the long weekend. We'll have a look at the forecast shortly, but first, tonight's weather photos snapped by Diana Miglich of a lovely sunset at Moonta Bay. If you have a weather photo to share, you can email it in to us. A fine Friday right across the region. 17 today's top in Port Augusta and 16 for Whyalla, 17 also in Port Lincoln and Port Pirie, and a sunny 14 in Broken Hill. On the national satellite, there's a high pushing in from the Bight. That's keeping the region fairly clear of any major cloud cover. On the waters, the winds to 10 knots into the east tomorrow. The seas below a metre and southerly. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 20 minutes past 7. So more of the same to kick off the weekend. A fine and sunny Saturday, getting to 18 in Port Augusta and in Port Lincoln as well. Whyalla on 16, 17 for Port Pirie. Broken Hill also fine and also on 16. Then into Sunday, a smattering of cloud for Port Lincoln with 18, but fine into next week. Cleve also 18 for Sunday and Monday. Woodner looking at a sunny 19 to wrap up the weekend and to roll into next week. Whyalla also seeing more of the same over the next few days. 17 and sunny for both Sunday and Monday. Port Augusta 18 both days. Kadina on 18 and fine. Port Pirie sunny and 18, then a fine 17 for Sunday and Monday. Clare 15 both days, so still quite mild but clear. Broken Hill with a sunny 17 and then 16 from Sunday into Monday. And that is the local news for this evening and for this week. Please do stay safe if you're on the roads this long weekend, and enjoy the break if you're having it. We are as well, so we'll be back with you on Tuesday night at 6:30. And we'll leave you tonight with some visions snapped by Therese Pedler down at Tolka on the EP, showing some emus out for a stroll along the shallows just out the back of her back door. I'm Tim Hadfield from the team here at Southern Cross News. Enjoy your evening. Good night.